is getting ready to intervene. So what about the diplomatic route, especially with so many players involved?
Hi, Clarice. It certainly is a very complex picture indeed, with several parallel developments taking place at once. So ECOWAS, we've heard tonight, has put together a committee which would act as a potential conduit for dialogue with the junta in Niger. They are keeping up with that dialogue, as they said, wrapping up that summit where they also pledged to activate and deploy the standby force. And we'll have to wait and see whether any ECOWAS dialogue can take place. Recently, they've had their delegation having their permission to land in Niger refused because the military, the junta there, says there is just too much anger about the economic sanctions they've imposed and blaming the security situation too. So that is one thing that we know is currently going on as well. Now, even among other players, not even in the region, players who have a lot at stake here, we know that France and the US both have a troop presence on the ground. France has around 1,500 soldiers there, which has been carrying out anti-terror operations in the Sahel. And the US has a drone base up in central Niger, near the city of Agadez. And it seems from diplomatic sources that we've been speaking to that France and the US are not exactly on the same page here. France has come out publicly and also behind the scenes diplomats saying that they're prepared to logistically support any ECOWAS military intervention. The US approach has been one of trying also to pursue dialogue. So we had that very high-profile visit from the Assistant Secretary of State, the #2 US diplomat, Victoria Nuland, who flew into Niger to hold talks with a member of the junta. Now, French diplomats here have been telling our team that they thought that approach was somewhat unwise, and indeed it did turn out to be unfruitful. And again, according to our diplomatic sources, we gather that the US State Department could be planning to mount more high-profile dialogue missions to Niger in the coming days or perhaps weeks. Now, it's a very fluid situation, and that all still needs to be concerned. But you can see that there is a slight difference there in the approach of both ECOWAS, but also France and the USA. The USA, we're told, really anxious to maintain that drone base there near Agadez in Niger, from which it flies drone missions to target jihadists not only in Niger, but across the border in Libya and in other parts of the Sahel too.
Meanwhile, as